Welcome to Vikings football with head coach Bruce Barnum as Portland State gets ready for its home opener this Saturday at Hillsboro Stadium. The Vikings taking on North American University in a game Saturday at 1 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN+, but come on out to the game and get your first look at the Vikings in person this week. We'll talk a little bit about North American later on, but Coach, let's talk about the Vikings through two games. A couple of tough opponents. Everybody knew that going in. FBS opponents, Oregon and Wyoming. Certainly a strong performance this past Saturday against Wyoming. Tell us a few things that you saw in the transition from Game 1 to Game 2 that your team made, some positive changes.
Look at the defensive side of the ball first, Mike. The improvements from Game 1 to 2 we're seeing all across the board, honestly. But that side of the ball, even through the game, as you went, I thought they played a hell of a second half. Started out, I don't know if it was wide-eyed or, this is Wyoming or what, but I thought they settled in and hopefully showed us what we're going to see all year. We saw some good performances in the second half by our defense.
And defensively in the fourth quarter, the Vikings held Wyoming to just 5 yards, gave the team a chance to come back. Vikings cut the lead to 31-17, had the ball right down near the goal line near the end of the game, couldn't quite get it in, but a couple plays away from maybe making it really scary for Wyoming. Coach, your defense in the second half really stepped up, and I'm going to say it again, you had a lot of freshmen playing more in the second half than the first as, guys get tired and you go to your depth, and again, they stood up and played well.
They did. Those freshmen are getting better each week. That's the thing about a freshman year at prom last year, and all of a sudden you're Oregon and then Wyoming, and to see them kind of settle in, I'm curious to see now, because the game's going to slow down for them now. So I'm hoping that confidence builds this week versus the mighty NAU one going into conference.
And I noticed, Coach, offensively, the Vikings showed some great signs. You have a great wide receiver group. Darian Chase, Nate Bennett, Jermaine Braddock, McLean Griffin got into the end zone. All four of those guys, kind of your main guys, and they were all key players in that game. I'm sure you were happy to get all four of them involved.
Yeah, Mike, them and more guys that helped them out behind. That's a great group. Liked what we've seen the first two games, but, it's also a group that I expect to dominate. We put them together, and I think they're tops in this conference, but we need to show that week in and week out.
And in the backfield, Quincy Craig, 109 yards, all-purpose, catching the ball, running with the football, and he's a small guy, but the thing I think I really noticed about him was after contact, he's still running. He's running through some much bigger players, hitting him and getting extra yards, and that's a real bonus from a guy his size.
It is. Quincy had a heck of a game. It was hard to get him off the field, He probably cost you seeing, which I think we have another one who didn't even, the mighty Grub. You didn't really get a taste of that game. So we've got four guys right now, like I've told you before, two bigs and two littles who we're going to have to make sure we distribute the ball to because they can help us win.
That's right. Four running backs and really four wide receivers that are all going to get to see the football quite a bit this week and in future weeks. Okay, Coach, the first 2 weeks of the season, clearly underdogs, as everybody knew. Now you make the big transition and you go into a game as the favorite, playing a lower division school, North American. How do you approach that with your team in terms of getting their mindset right so they come out and play their best right away and maybe not kind of overlook that lower division team?
Great question. We've asked that, Mike, and that table has turned this week. But if anything, I expect them to practice like they're 2-0, practice like they're a champion, practice like they're going to win this football game. My coaches, we're not letting anything slide. I probably saw that more today than I've seen all year. So make sure they're ready. Nothing's changed. We line up college football Saturday this week, and I don't care who the opponent is. Let's our group get better. I thought we played tough that entire game. I thought we played with great effort, and bring that each Saturday. We'll be all right.
And maybe the one thing about North American, they're a little bit of a mystery because they're an NAI-level school, Coach. And you've been able, though, to find a little video and learn a few things about the team. What have you seen?
They're sound. I know that, and whoever is coaching them is doing a hell of a job because, I mean, their schemes are there's no flaws, you know. So do that and try to design some things to take advantage on both sides of the ball and special teams and see what we can do.
All right, and as we move into the game on Saturday, Coach, give us 2 or 3 things that are keys that you'll need to see your team do early to know that they can take control and get their first victory of the season.
Turnovers, number one. Have to get ahead. I want to win the turnover battle. The field, tilting the field, I think we've done all right at times as far as where our opponent starts, but I want to see some turnovers, and I want to see people play fast the entire game. There's a lot of phases right now I'm happy with. You know, penalties are way down. But that turnover deal, we have to scrape. Right now we're -1 after 2 games, and I want that to be plus double figures by the end of the season, so we got some work to do there.
All right, supposed to be hot this Saturday, maybe around 90 degrees, Coach. There's going to be some hot folks in the stands. Are you buying beer this week?
No.
No.
I'm, you know, because I'm concerned about our fans. You know, I want to make sure that nobody's, you know, drinking past such and such time and having to drive home. So it's more love for the fans why I'm not doing that.
Okay. Maybe we could get a mister or something that they could walk under. And
this isn't Disneyland, Mike. You know, they're not waiting in line. They're right in the action right away. You don't have to wait. We'll start right away, and you'll be in the action. You don't need that mister in the damn lines they have at all those amusement parks. This ain't the county fair, Mike. It's football.
All right, there it is, folks. It's football, and it starts at home this week. The Vikings taking on North American University at 1 o'clock at Hillsboro Stadium. It's the start of 2 weeks at home. The Big Sky Conference home opener is next Saturday at 1 o'clock against Cal Poly. 2 games in a row at home, Hillsboro Stadium. Come out and see the Vikings. You can also watch them on ESPN+, produced and directed by our guy, Grady Titus, who just happens to be behind the camera right now. And if you're around town this week, please come to the Vikings football luncheon. That's Friday at noon at Old Spaghetti Factory here downtown. You can get all the details and all your information on Vikings football at govikes.com.